Welcome back to another video of BBIG or Vinco Ventures. Based on my Twitter polls, a lot of you folks wanted this video, so here it is again. Now this video, since my last video, it's not going to cover a lot of more due diligence because nothing new has happened much, but we're going to be focusing a bit more onto the technical analysis. So presentations, we don't have much new information. And in terms of news, we don't have anything since the one released on the 27th, and before there, you had the 22nd of November news. Now, the 27th was relating towards the agreement to raise $42 million in common equity and convertible debts, and this is in relations to the new Questrade spin-off of Vinco Ventures, labeled as TYDE, which is a blockchain technology company focused on consumer adoption of smart contract technologies, and this is the announcement that they've gone around debt and common equity raise of $42 million in debt reduction. So it does talk about $10 per share, and it gives you some details in relations with them filing more information to go on as an IPO with the listing agents, and as well that information being sent to NASDAQ. So it says right here, the closing of the financing is subject to certain closing conditions, including NASDAQ approval of the initial listing of the company shares of common stock and completion of the proposed spinoff by Vinco Ventures. So that's still in the going. Currently, we don't have an exact date, but it's in the first half of 2022 is where we anticipate all this to close up. In my previous videos, I did dive into the SEC filing to try to find a specific date, and we did. But overall, you can expect this to be done by the first half of 2022. Now, this is the ENFT.com, one of the companies under Questrade. If you do remember, Questrade has multiple different parts underneath it, as this presentation suggests, and includes the ENFT.com platform. So also you're able to buy, sell, streaming as a streaming platform, tokenization, and securitization. It has animation art, AR, VR is coming up, volumetric capture, and digital humans. You also have another part which is called Volmax, which is an AR, VR, bringing digital to life, and they're truly trying to go for augmented reality and tapping into the metaverse. And they also have a tokenized mining pools, and this was launched for pre-sale back in November 1st, 2021, and they're trying to go for one kind of equipment to go for, or one price to go for equipment, hosting, power, management, reporting, payment, and lifecycle. You also have another one, which is called the Ocuverse, which is really trying to play on the word metaverse. And the Ocuverse NFT acts as a membership card to the Ocuverse platform and grants access to member-only benefits. Users will receive rewards in the form of Ocuverse tokens that are airdropped into the wallets of the stakers. Now, Ocuverse company roadmap, they're basically trying to mention the kind of coming steps, as I don't believe this is already launched. And you got another one here, which is Ferocious containers, which is trying to go for an e-commerce sustainable packaging as well that is attached to it. And that's a little bit of a weirder thing to bring into the cryptocurrency Questrade blockchain company, but nonetheless something to add on to the portfolio. Now, this is a little bit of an older presentation back on October 6th, so some of the things have most likely changed since this presentation, but we don't have a new updated one. In terms of institutional buyers, we get to see that Hudson Bay Capital Management took a part of a new 10% equity of this company back on the 2nd of February. In terms of institutional buyers in general, they appear to be bullish in the month of February, but in terms of the news coming on from Twitter and retail, it looks like for overall it's bullish, and a lot of people have been drumming the short interest kind of drums relating towards this one being a massive short squeeze kind of potential. Now, the data itself doesn't show that it could be a potentially high short squeeze, but it's still somewhat considerably high overall. On Finviz, the SI itself, or the short float, different from short interest, is around 27.16, so somewhat high. The short shares availability is around 300,000 shares, with a short borrow fee rate of around 90%. So that's still incredibly high. But the short interest, or short volume over the total volume, is sitting only around 41% on the last trading day. Now, before moving on towards technical analysis, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to drop a like to this video and drop the subscribe button, leave notification buttons on for this channel, and you can join our Discord if you'd like in the description below. And let's move on towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, what we do get to see here on Vinco Ventures is that the moving averages are almost all flat. You're not seeing any significant movement going from one to another, but the price point is currently above the 50 SMA, so that's a bullish thing. 30 MA is currently above the 10 SMA, although they're kind of interweaving into one another, so it's not really saying much. Now, on the 80X, we're not seeing much of a movement. It suggests more of a sloppy sideways trade, and the willing %R, which is very similar to the Relative Strength Index or the RSI, is sitting somewhere in neutral. It's neither overbought or oversold. MACD is currently going towards the negative side. It's slumping a little, which is a dangerous sign, especially since momentum is still negative, but momentum has improved from the 3rd of February until the 7th of February, going from around a little bit of 0.214 all the way up to 0.88 in terms of negative side. So still improving the momentum into a less negative momentum. Now, going on towards the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, you're able to see that there's currently more of a downward trend into this one, suggesting we might hit the next support or at least test it. So it's a little bit of a dangerous sign, not my favorite, but going on to moving averages, it's indicating something else completely. So currently it's showing a higher upgoing moving averages with a strong resistance at 363 and a support at 297, and it's expected to trade between these two lines as it kind of still climbs upwards. So it's still a really nice thing to see. Fibonacci retracements shows a significant resistance at 444, 598, 722, 846, 1023, and 1249, with a support at the 195 level. Now, from a price line action, we're able to see a significant support at the 301, and then the 277, going downwards to the 251 and the 226. Resistances are between 321, going higher to 354, and then 386, 405, 437, 494, 541, 586, higher to 621, and 664, going a little bit higher to 693 and higher to 768. Meanwhile, the supports, as you get to see, 301 is a significant support, 284, and then down to 263 and 238, going down to around 211 and 195. Now, we don't have any analyst recommendations in the last 30 days or so, so we're going to skip that and we're going to go towards what I think about this one. Well, institutions like Hudson Bay have actually scooped up a good amount of this stock, and it really started suggesting that this stock is starting to get a bit more of a pulse and more likely a reversal, and that's definitely a good thing. With the news launching about Cryptide, I do anticipate the stock to see a bit of a push, and still somewhat, I think at 306, it has some room to grow and bounce back, hopefully with some good news as cryptocurrency play, going into as well other ventures aside from just cryptocurrency. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.